Mrs. Gale, what are you doing?
Building a tower, just to kind of help me visualise some of the maths that's about to happen.
Why are you building a tower? Because of the maths?
Yeah.
And is that your final piece?
Yeah.
Are you sure? You've got 2 more in your hand. Put them on, Mrs. Gale.
That is so mean. Is that one of our B-rolls?
I don't know. Are you gonna tell me off?
Be kind to one another. I'm just going to end up throwing these dice at you.
That's for balloon face. Should we get on with the lesson?
Yeah, okay.
Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Mia and
Miss Gale.
we're just...
I don't know why we say that.
I don't know why we
every
say
day
it.
itself.
Every single day. We're going to crack on with some more maths and I'm going to practice my measuring skills as I'm teaching this lesson as well.
She needs a lot of help
Is
with
it any
that.
better?
No, it's never getting better.
Right, Mrs. Gale, what are we doing?
Okay, so a little bit of arithmetic as we always for starters. So
Actually, last session we didn't. We did a thinking Tom, remember?
oh yeah, we did do a thing.
So don't use that word always, that adverb always.
Mostly. So we've got some things here as well. So we've just got a bit of division here. Don't be put off where the equal sign is here. This just means the same thing. It means that these two subtracted will give you the answer.
So the answer box is just at the front.
Yeah. So a bit of multiplication here, subtracting decimals, times tables. Just can't really get away from that. And well, actually, the new it's not even the new curriculum anymore. The expectation is by the end of year 4, you know, all your multiplication tables up to 1 times 1 to 12 times 12. So actually that should be really simple for you. And a bit of add in here. We've also got some stats questions here. Circle the number closest to 500. Just be really careful there. They're trying to trick you. So just look at the differences there. In these calculations, each missing sign is a subtraction or a minus sign. Write the missing signs in these circles. Okay, so you've got...
Do you want to move that?
Oh, jeez. What is going on there? Okay, you've got numbers that are the same here, but your equals is different. Your final answers are different, so just be careful with that. This one here, the diagram shows parts of a number line. 2 of the fractions are not complete.
So here, the numerator's missing,
Yep.
and here, the numerator's missing.
I was looking.
Take
I was
your
looking. I'm
hand
thinking-
away from your face and start concentrating.
Sorry, I was looking thinking, what's missing? Oh, gosh. Okay, so yeah, you can see here, they give you this part 3 1/10. You're going to subtract a half to get this answer. 3 1/10 plus 3/4 is going to give you this answer.
Top tip would be find common multiples, so convert them into a improper fraction, find the common multiples, and then do it, and then convert it back if you want to be super accurate.
This part here is more of an emerald here. A, B and C stand for 3 different numbers. The mean of A and B is 40, so don't forget what the mean is. Have a think about, we'll go back to the lesson that we've done on mean. The mean of B and C is 35, and A plus B plus C equals 100. Can you calculate the values of A, B and C? That's a 2-marker question down there.
Right, so boys and girls, please pause the video here and have a go at these questions. Right, before my hand falls off, can you go through the answers? And don't talk about them, Scale, just show them the answers.
Okay. All right. Number 1 is 25, 2 is 998, 3 is 672, 4 is 3.6, 5 is 7.22, and 6 is 3,241. The closest number to 500 is 491. Now, some of you might put 511. That would have been 11 more. Okay. So the answers here were subtract plus subtract for the first one, plus subtract, subtract.
Okay, let's speed this up, Mrs. Gale. My arm is getting weaker by the moment.
The missing digits are 3 here and 17.
Okay.
And this down here, A is 30, B is 50, and C would be 20.
Okay, good. I'm going to place you guys back down and let's crack on. Thank you very much, Mrs. Gale, for that informative input.
Thanks. Okay, hello. To find missing values using relative sizes.
Now, this is one of my favourite lessons because I get to do this.
Oh my gosh, you still really cringe. So, in order to answer this question, we need to practice one skill. So let's have a look at the skill first. So skill 1 is what, Miss Mia?
Dividing by 20.
Yes. Now, some of you might think, oh, that's really simple, actually, Mrs. Gale, I know how to divide by 20. Some of you might think, I don't actually know how to divide by 20. What's the quickest mental way of dividing by 20? Because sometimes you don't want to write all your multiples of 20 out because it can take quite a long time. However, some of you will need to do that. So, the top tip is when you divide by 20, you're dividing by 10 and then halving your answer. Okay, that's what you're technically doing to do it mentally. So, let's have a look. So, if I was going to
Use your top tier.
using my top tip. So I'm going to do 140 and my skill is to divide it by 20. Okay? Now, some of you could do simply writing your multiples of 20 out up to 140. So you do 20, 40, oh geez, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, and then you would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what that would be is 140 divided by 20 would give you 7. Okay? Now, the other method here, the mental maths way that I do it in my head is rather than having to write these multiples of 20,
Your big head.
my big head, is divide by 10 and half your answer. So I just write down what I'm doing mentally so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm going to be doing, to get the answer of 7, I do 140 divide by 10, and I know how many 10s go into 140 would be 14, and then I half 14. So 14 divided by 2, which is the same as that, will give me 7. Okay, so in my head I would look at that and do 140 divided by 10 is 14, half of 14 is 7. Okay, so I've written 2 different ways down here. If you still think, do you know what, I'm struggling with dividing by 10 or find it a bit difficult, do jot your multiples of 20 out if that helps. But this is a much quicker mental method. So Miss Mia, that second one there, can you apply a method and tell us what you would do?
I'm going to use your method because it's your top tip and it makes sense, otherwise it wouldn't be a top tip. So I'm going to choose a colour, green. First of all, I'm going to do 280. I'm going to write out the calculation. In fact, 280 divided by 20 equals something. Okay, so I'm going to do 280 using your tip. 280 divided by 10. And remember, this goes back to your knowledge of dividing and multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000. So this should be really smooth now. So 280 divided by 10 is 28. And I'm going to do 28 divided by 2. Remember, this means division. Okay, it's another way of recording your learning. So 28 divided by 2, or half of 28, is 14. So I know the answer is 14. Okay, happy with that?
Yeah. So there's a couple of methods there. You know, if you're to the point here where you just think I just can just write the calculation and write the answer down because I can do it mentally and it's accurate, that's fine.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So what I want you to do at home is I want you to have a look at that top tip, and I want you to have a go at.
Press the select button, Mrs. Gale.
No, because I don't think I've
Oh,
seen that.
okay.
So what I want you to do.
Oh, that's bright.
It is nice and bright, so you can't really miss it. Is I want you to divide each of the following numbers by 20. Okay, so you're going to do 120 divided by 20 and so forth. Pause the video, off you go.
Good. Right.
Okay, so I haven't put the answers in here because we're going to do them together, Miss Mia.
Oh, we know. Okay, we're not going to write out the answers and questions, are we? We're just going to do
write the answer.
All right, so I'm going to do 120 divided by 10, which is 12. Half of 12 is 6.
So your final answer is 6. 120 divided by 20 would be 6.
180 divided by 10 is 18. Divided by 2 is 9. So 180 divided by 20 is 9. 220 divided by 10 is 22. Divided by 2 is 11. So 220 divided by 20 is 11. 240 divided by 10 is 24. Divided by 2 is 12. So 240 divided by 20 is 12. And then finally 300 divided by 10 is 30. Divided by 2 is 15. So 300 divided by 20 is 15.
Well done, Miss Mia! Woo! What a look, quick mental maths. Now, actually, those were your final answers there at the bottom. So if you've got that correct, that's fine. If you haven't, go back and check it and do some more practicing on that particular skill. Okay. So now we've learned that skill, we can then apply it to this question. So this question came up in a reasoning paper. It was question 13, so it's in the middle of a paper. It's aimed at the expected standard in year 6. Okay. So
Carry on, Mrs. Gale.
what are you doing?
Just carry on.
Okay. The question is as follows.
I'm just building a tower.
Oh my, this is really distracting.
I'm just building a tower of 20. It's in relation to your question. Carry on.
Yeah, but I think you need to come a little bit closer because I don't think they can see all this information that I'm going to
Oh,
be doing.
you ruin everything. Right.
That's payback, by the way. I've just ruined your dice.
Okay.
That's payback from earlier. Right, okay, let's have a look at this. So, question 13. A stack of 20 identical boxes.
That's what I was trying to do, boys and girls.
We'll be here all day. A stack of about 20 identical boxes is 140 centimetres tall. They've given us a diagram here, not drawn to size, don't forget. Here are the 20 boxes, 140 centimetres. Stefan takes 3 boxes off the top. So he takes 1, 2, 3 off. How tall is the stack now?
How tall is it, Mrs. Gale?
Okay.
You're going to show them?
We're going to show them.
Okay.
All right, so first of all, I need to work out what is the length of one of these boxes.
The height.
The height, thank you, Ms. Mia. The height of one of these boxes. The only way I'm going to do that is with 140 and 20. Okay, what am I going to do with those two numbers? I'm going to divide them. Okay, if you want to find the calculation of just one and you've got 20 there, you've got to divide it by the number. So I'm going to do 140 divided by 20. Now, that's skill 1. When you divide by 20, you can divide your answer by 10 and then half it. So 140. Oh, I do not want that decimal point there to confuse people. Okay. Sorry, but boys and girls, bear with me. So 140 divided by 10 gives me 14. Half of 14 is 7. So that's going to give me 7. So I know the length of one of these boxes, the height, sorry, is 7 centimetres. Now he takes 3 boxes from the top. That means that these 3 together, if each one's worth 7, 3 of them must be 21.
So your calculation would then be 7 multiplied by 3.
Which gives me 21. So I know that these 3 boxes here is going to be worth 21 centimetres. They want to know how tall is the stack now. Well, if I took off this 21 centimetres and I know it's 140, what am I going to do, Miss Smith, with 140 and 21?
Well, you're going to subtract it because you're removing those 3 identical boxes from the top. So you're removing 21 centimetres away from the 140. So it'd be 140 take away 21.
Yeah. Now I write 140 minus 21. You can see here what I'm doing is I'm writing my number sentences each time to show the examiner I know exactly what calculations I'm doing and know exactly what number operations I'm doing. Now here, when you've got 140 minus 21, you can do that as a mental calculation. Partition 21 into 20 and 1. 140 minus 20 gives me 120. Take that 1 off again, gives me 119. Okay. Now, if you're not happy with that and you're thinking I'm not accurate with it, you are going to have to do a column subtraction. Okay, which is fine. It's still fine because you're going to give you the accurate answer, but it just takes you a little bit longer. So 140 minus 21. Here we go. 0 minus 1, you can't do that, becomes a 3, that becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9, 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 minus nothing is 1, it's 119. So my final answer is 119 centimetres, worth 2 marks. There's a lot of calculations in that.
But very visual because a diagram does show you exactly what to do
and it's a bit like a bar model, just on its side. That's how it looked. That's how I was kind of visualising it for me. So don't forget here, what you've got to work out first of all is you've got to work out the height of one box. Then times it by how many boxes he took off the top, which was 3. So we did 7 times 3, 21. Then I take off 21 from 140, because what I'm finding here is they want to know what is this height now that he's taken off the boxes. Okay, so there's your final answer.
We're going to go through one more, aren't we, Mrs. Gale? So you take over, you grab this phone and you'll see how painful this is. And then I'm going to model this one. So you take over.
If you want to hear, before Miss Mia models it, if you want to think to yourself, do you know what, I'm going to pause the video and have a go myself and then check it against Miss Mia's calculations, that's also fine.
So I'll read you the question, then you can pause it afterwards. So it says a stack of 20 identical boxes is 160 centimetres tall. Stefan takes 3 boxes off the top. How tall is the stack now? Can you... Thank you, that's better. Right, so boys and girls, have a go yourself first, and then I'm going to model it right now. So the first thing I need to do, Mrs. Gale, I'm sure you would agree with me, is the following. I need to work out the answer to what the height of one of these boxes are. So in order to do that, I need to do the following calculation. 160 divided by 20.
Where did you get that 160, Miss Mia?
Well, it's 160 centimetres tall, Mrs.
And where
Gale.
did you get the 20 from?
Well, there's 20 identical boxes.
Okay, good to know. Carry on.
So I'm going to use your top tips. So I'm going to do 160 divided by 10, which is 16. And then half of 16 is 8. So I know that the height of one of these boxes is 8 centimetres. Okay? Stefan takes off 3 boxes. So I know that he takes these 3 away. So if that's 8, and that's 8, and that's 8, to work out the height of these 3, I'll do 8 multiplied by 3, which equals 8, 16, 24 centimetres. Okay, so I know that these 3 are 24 centimetres in total height. So the next part of the question is asking me the following. How tall is the stack now? So I need to work out how tall the stack is now without those 3 boxes. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to do the following calculation. 160 subtract 24 centimetres. Okay, or 160 centimetres subtract 24 centimetres. Now I'm going to use the column subtraction. I could do it in my head, but I love your filming, Mrs. Gale. Very lopsided.
I've just calculated it in my head mentally.
Okay, so I'm going to do the column subtraction because I know some of you will be using it. So I'm going to go with 160. Remember the biggest number on top first. Subtract 24. Put in your subtraction sign. I can't do 0 take away 4, so I borrow. 10 take away 4 is 6. 5 take away 2 is 3. 1 take away 0 is 1. So I know that my answer
You're going to click
is
onto that box.
136 centimetres.
That's why you always need to check it. Obviously.
So my answer is in fact 136 centimetres. There you go, boys and girls. It's a good thing that I did do that question, and we did check it. Right, so thank you for listening. Please go on. You're so embarrassing. That is so bad.
Oh.
Please go onto the school website and have a look at the questions related to this particular SAT style question. One of our favourite questions, I think.
Yeah, I love this question. It's a lot of problem solving, and actually it's really, really visual with the bar model.
Yeah. And yeah, hopefully we've gone through 2 examples so you have a good understanding of what you need to do. Thank you for watching, and take care. Bye.
Bye.